Welcome to the City of Oakland's presentation on the General Plan Update and the newly released Draft Land Use Framework. In this video, we'll cover some basic background of the General Plan Update, the Draft Land Use Framework, land use and transportation, parks and open space, other related topics, and next steps. What is the Oakland General Plan? The Oakland General Plan is the guiding document for how the city grows and develops, somewhat like a constitution. It lays out a citywide vision with goals, policies, and implementation measures to guide the long-term growth, preservation, and stabilization of the city. The General Plan reflects on past challenges and accomplishments to ensure consistent direction for the city's future development. And with this update, we're being very intentional on using this as an opportunity to address racial inequity and to promote inclusivity by ensuring meaningful engagement with communities that have been traditionally left behind or left out of planning and decision-making processes. The General Plan will advance racial equity by establishing more just policies related to land use, parks, open space, and transportation. The guiding principles are to make sure people are housed, healthy, and safe, to foster community cohesion and connection, and to celebrate Oakland's rich cultural history and diversity. The General Plan Update is taking place over two phases. In Phase 1, we addressed housing, safety, and environmental justice. In Phase 2, we're focusing on the following four elements. The land use and transportation element will set the rules for what gets built where and works to create an inclusive multimodal transport system that balances mobility, safety, and connection. The open space, conservation, and recreation element will build an equitable, accessible parks network while also protecting existing open spaces and improving access. The infrastructure and capital facilities element will focus on keeping essential systems like water, sewage, electricity, and internet reliable and resilient, and to ensure public facilities like schools and libraries are well maintained and equitably distributed. The noise element will work to reduce and mitigate noise pollution and its impacts on community health. Let's review the Phase 2 timeline. In the fall of 2024 was the initial engagement period, building on Phase 1 and getting community input for Phase 2. In the summer of 2025, we developed options, including trade-offs for achieving different community goals. Based on this community feedback, we crafted one preferred option for development, which is laid out in the Draft Land Use Framework. By the fall of this year, we expect to develop the elements for public review. And by the spring of 2027, we expect hearings and the eventual adoption of the various elements. But what is the Draft Land Use Framework? The framework is, at its core, a guiding document that lays out key strategies and maps for achieving community priorities in the General Plan. These strategies will serve as the basis for developing the detailed policies within each of the Phase 2 elements. In collaboration with our community partners from the Deeply Rooted Collaborative, we've done a lot of community engagement over the past year, reaching over 1,300 people directly through meetings, workshops, walking tours, and more. We also estimate we've reached approximately 1.6 million residents through our media education campaign. Some of the key community priorities that have surfaced from our outreach include creating equitable neighborhoods, improving our infrastructure like streets, parks, and community facilities, ensuring accessibility of streets and transit for all users, and supporting affordable housing and jobs. To achieve all this, the Draft Land Use Framework focuses on fostering complete, walkable neighborhoods throughout the city, where people have access to transit, green space, and neighborhood amenities. Downtown, San Antonio, the Fruitvale, and the Coliseum will serve as major centers, with downtown being the largest and most dense. We're proposing to increase density and mixed uses along major corridors and near BART stations to create vibrant corridors and transit hubs. This is paired with improving walking, biking, and transit connections between neighborhoods. We've also created a new technology and research land use category to support green industries, advanced manufacturing, and artisan production. Here you can see the overall strategy map for the Draft Land Use Framework. Neighborhood centers are indicated by pink polygons. Technology and research areas in Upper West Oakland and west of the Coliseum are located in purple circles. Major centers are in red polygons in downtown, Fruitvale, San Antonio, and near the Coliseum. Green circles represent proposed locations for new parks, and thick green lines show proposed greenway networks. Here are some proposed land use and transportation strategies in the draft land use framework. We're presenting these together because land use and transportation strategies support one another. Creating mixed-use, walkable neighborhood hubs requires things like improving walking and biking connections and making it easier to use transit and build safe, easy, and accessible connections between neighborhoods. Optimizing bus service to meet Oaklanders' needs and improving service on key routes is supported by allowing higher densities along major corridors and in the core of neighborhood centers, creating a new transit-oriented mixed-use land designation and laying the foundation for a future infill BART station in the San Antonio neighborhood. We also want to minimize conflicts between homes and industry, protect tribal resources, embed disability, inclusion, and accessibility in design and construction, as well as continue to collaborate with communities to get more detailed policies passed. Creating mixed-use centers and high-density housing near transit ensures people are closer to the things they need and can make more trips without a car. It's about giving people more choices. The proposed technology and research hubs in East and West Oakland aim to attract green, forward-thinking jobs, support the creative economy, and focus infrastructure improvements to support flexible industrial uses. These land use changes would be supported by workforce development programs to build a career pipeline of Oaklanders to work in these hubs. The Hagenberger Corridor is an important part of our city, anchored by the Oakland International Airport, I-880, and the Oakland Coliseum. The general mix of businesses in this area are related to visitor services, transportation, logistics, and warehouses, and serve as a high-volume gateway for the movement of people and products. These strategies focus on fostering Hagenberger as a thriving hub with a variety of business uses south of I-880, including hotels, offices, research labs, and other compatible business uses, and to the north, a mix that includes housing, creative industries, and small-scale manufacturing. This map shows how land uses are laid out across the city. Each color on this map represents a different land use designation. Dark yellow, gold, and dark brown areas represent increased density around corridors, which corresponds with corridors for increased transit frequency. Dark purple represents new technology and research areas, and light purple shows transit-oriented mixed-use areas near BART stations. One of the key parks and open space strategies is creating a greenway network that connects communities, promotes active transportation, and recreation. Greenways also improve natural habitats and increase access to green space. Investments will be prioritized in environmental justice communities, and we will set standards for increased maintenance and programming to meet the needs of different communities. We also want to protect our natural resources, like our creeks, and find opportunities to use open space for protection of tribal cultural resources and support unhoused residents who now live in our parks. This map shows the parks and open space strategies. Green circles represent proposed locations for new parks. Thick green lines show proposed greenway networks. Green dashed lines are the city's existing bicycle boulevards. Dark green areas are parks, and light green areas are for resource conservation. In our community engagement, we received a lot of feedback related to housing, economic development, and arts and culture. Some of the strategies we're proposing in these areas include developing affordable housing near transit and amenities, supporting small business development, and ensuring communities serving businesses have access to commercial space, as well as integrating arts, culture, and history into neighborhood centers through placemaking and strengthening cultural districts. Related to infrastructure and the environment, the draft land use framework proposes exploring new strategies to address illegal dumping, prioritizing fundings for resilience hubs, finding other funding sources for infrastructure projects, planning for sea level rise, and supporting urban greening projects. Here are some discussion questions to consider. Does the overall strategy and maps advance the general plan update goal and guiding principles? Do these strategies help achieve your community's priorities? What ideas or specific policies do these strategies raise? Is anything missing? Give us your feedback on the Draft Land Use Framework. Provide your comments on the framework until April 23, 2026. Board and commission meetings and presentations will happen through the beginning of April. You may also attend a pop-up event or workshop in your district. Visit our website to see upcoming events and to sign up for our mailing list, or scan the QR code shown here. Thanks for your attention to this presentation and for helping to build an Oakland that works for all.